Hey guys, and welcome back. Just behind me is Dublin's train station. The second I upload this YouTube video, I'm getting on a train, I'm going straight to Glasgow. We play Rangers on Tuesday night. Alan McGregor's testimonial match. For me, well, when I come back from Glasgow, I'm going straight to America, so I thought we're actually going to go to Glasgow for a couple of days. Just a chance to relax, calm down a little bit. You get the game over and done with and we go straight to America, because it's a lot of travelling. It takes a lot of strain on your mind and body. It's just one of them ones where we're going to go to Glasgow for a couple of days. We're going to calm down, relax. But for today, one, we're going to show you all the media stuff I did with Gateshead yesterday, and also how Newcastle United and Gateshead will operate behind the scenes on a match day. And secondly, there's a lot of transfer news today. A couple of big ones regarding St Maximin and a certain someone over at Napoli for around £90 million. Straight away, it raises massive red flags, but as always, we're going to have to talk about this in this video due to how much traction it's gained on the social media. But first off, for me guys, if you're new around here and you like what you're watching, make sure you get down there and hit that subscribe button. The overnight stay vlog will be on the channel tomorrow. We are back with the overnight stay vlogs. It's been a long time, I've missed them. Secondly, if you like what you're watching, make sure to smash our like button, and finally let me know in the comment section your thoughts on this video. Now, we're going to start off by showing you an interview I actually did with Rob Elliott yesterday. We talked to him about his time at Newcastle and also what you can expect to see from Gateshead on a regular basis. We are now joined by current Gateshead technical director and active goalkeeper Rob Elliott, former Newcastle United player as well. I mean, first off, just envision everything. I mean, you're playing for Gateshead and now you just play against Newcastle United today. Just how has it been after all these years?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's lovely to see so many people. Saw a few of the guys when I was at Watford last year, but no, it's nice to bring the guys here, obviously play on the pitch, and sort of nice to see the stadium full. It's just a good day, really. It's a good game of football. Thought we sort of give a really good account of ourselves. We played the guys last year behind closed doors, and obviously very grateful to Newcastle for playing at the stadium, because it has a massive financial impact for us, which means that we can strengthen the squad or just strengthen the club in general. So yeah, for our point of view is to make it a good day for everyone. Obviously the weather was a bit different. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but we can't control that. But hopefully make it, speaking of the devil, yeah, but hopefully make it a regular thing, make this the first stop in Newcastle's pre-season games, and but overall, yeah, really good day.
Well, I mean, it's brilliant for Gateshead. So out today, of course, for Newcastle fans. Newcastle United announced in advance that every penny generated by the gate receipts would go directly to Gateshead. I mean, that must be huge for non-league football, and obviously Gateshead financially a few years ago, it's not been the best for us, but just how important is that likes of Newcastle are actually able to donate you guys all the money?
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's obviously they could have said we want half the gate, etc., but it's been a lot of organisation, so it's an amazing job done by everyone behind the scenes of the club to get such a big event on. The stadium doesn't see that many people come through it anymore, so overall, apart from the weather, it went really well. But no, it's huge from the club. I think it just shows where Newcastle's at now in terms of wanting to help the community, so obviously massive thanks to Eddie and his team, and obviously Dan Ashworth, and for having it go ahead, and hopefully they've had a good day and it was a good run out for them. It ticked the boxes what they need, and I think ultimately, because they know obviously Mike, myself, and the way we play, they know it's going to be a good game of football, so there's not going to be anything. It's a good fitness test, but also a good football test.
Well, for myself as well, I'm actually a Newcastle United content creator, so essentially my audience is largely Newcastle United generated now. My best question I normally ask towards, for example, players such as yourself, what can fans actually expect on a weekly basis who don't tend to Gateshead games? How could you promote them to a fan?
I think the simplest way is to come and watch really good football. It is genuinely really good football. We'll try and play as you've seen today. We don't try and lump it. We literally will play through the lines. So ultimately, what you're seeing is young players who've got the desire and the hunger to kick on up the league coming in. And Mike's been fantastic with Ian Watson in terms of the football we play. And it's just generally really enjoyable. It's exciting football. It's taken away that sort of old tag of non-league where teams just lumped it to a big man. It's actually saying no, there's some really good talent out there, and a lot of it's probably proven by a lot of our lads kicking on to go up the leagues, and that's all we want to do. We want to create a base for lads, whether they're in the north east or further apart, to come play good football, enjoy themselves, ultimately get Gateshead up the leagues and get themselves up the leagues.
Well, exactly. I think well said, Rob. I think you're quite good at it. But honestly, though, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Best of luck at Gateshead next season. I'm sure, just like last season, you have a brilliant time.
Fingers crossed, mate. Cheers.
I also interviewed Mike Williamson, Gateshead's manager. However, I had some technical difficulties that video. I mean, I was kicking myself over that. It's the worst thing you do as a content creator, because you really do want to try and put yourself at the highest of standards, and when it doesn't go well, you just hate yourself for it. But to quickly recap what he said, so he spoke at length about how impressed he was with Gateshead yesterday. He was happy how they played, and he was quite grateful and appreciative of Newcastle United for once again helping Gateshead out. There's a real connection between the two clubs, which is brilliant to see. So whenever I get a chance, I will go to some more Gateshead matches. It's an unbelievable opportunity to actually get a chance to do some media work for Gateshead. They're happy with me coming in. Now, there's a massive difference between non-league clubs and Newcastle United, which I'm going to explain now. So I'm going to show you some clips in the background of what Newcastle United media stuff would actually work like after the game. So you can see that Keith Downey's currently doing his stuff for Sky Sports. So everyone there afterwards all mobs Eddie Howe. So they all get around and all start asking questions. Now, not a single one of those journalists allowed to actually visually record Eddie Howe. They're only allowed to audio it. So they were taken away. Of course, they're right up there, articles, the reports on the match itself. And Newcastle United are very protective, just like the majority of Premier League teams are extremely protective of their media work. So for someone like me, for example, well, I didn't have anything Newcastle United approved, so I contacted the club in advance after I had my Gateshead stuff approved. They said they'll see what they can do, but ultimately just nothing happened in the day, to be honest. Now, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, with the journalists, I mean, these are people that have got full-time jobs. Everyone standing there has done multiple degrees. It's compared to me, well, I've just left university to do YouTube videos, so it's obviously a massive difference. I think eventually someone like YouTube, I think in the long term, YouTube will become quite a big thing media-wise. It's just a case where at the minute it's still going to be newspapers, it's going to be articles, etc. But I think eventually that's just going to become outdated. I think stuff like YouTube will be huge going for the next 10, 15 years. But for now, though, it's not the case. But you can see in the background there's all sorts of bits and bobs about how journalists would actually just pick players out there asking questions. And overall, it is really good to see in person. Now, the reason why I kind of want to touch on this now, I think especially the big one being with Eddie Howe, because he mentioned quite a bit about transfers going to relate into the second part of the video. So Eddie Howe was saying to the journalists yesterday how Newcastle are currently not going in for any players at all. Harvey Barnes is not close, and Newcastle, under financial fair play, we don't have much money to work with. He stressed it to the journalists. Heard it first time. As always, though, I will say, take that with a massive pinch of salt. Eddie Howe, I fully believe, and I think there's evidence to even show from the last couple of seasons, that he will mislead. He will deceive journalists, because obviously he wants to get deals done. He doesn't want journalists to leak all sorts online, which will damage Newcastle when they're trying to go out in the transfer market. So definitely take his comments with a massive pinch of salt. But that's what he told journalists yesterday. It's the first time they've had a chance to see him in the summer break. But we're going to get into the transfer side of things now. But Eddie Howe did say that there's nothing to spend, and the likes of Harvey Barnes aren't close. So we're going to see if he's correct over the next few days, but I'm telling you now, definitely take that with a massive pinch of salt. We'll begin off with TalkSport's article this morning, because they said, just like Luke Edwards, that Newcastle United is looking to sell Aaron St-Maximin in order to fund Harvey Barnes. Once again, that main topic being to fund Harvey Barnes. So we're saying now that essentially if we were to keep St-Maximin, we can't get Harvey Barnes in with the money. Again, I don't fully believe that one at all, but the St-Maximin Saudi Arabia links is really starting to come out quite a bit now. Of course, he played yesterday in Gateshead. A pretty good match, to be fair, but obviously it is against 50 opposition sides. St-Maximin's an interesting one because, again, I think for the money you sell them for, with a Saudi Arabia team now, this could definitely be different, but realistically, you're probably going to get around £40 million to St-Maximin if you are to sell them at a high value. Do I think we can get anyone better in for £40 million? It's tough. Probably not. I would say the answer to that question is, it depends on what A, the player wants, and B, how much Newcastle can get for him from a Saudi Arabia club. They've seen it with the likes of even Jordan Henderson, 700 grand a week he would be on if he joins Saudi Arabia. It's like £700,000 a week. It's ridiculous. Nobody's saying no to that. So for a guy like St-Maximin, all it's going to take is a massive wage to pop up, and chances are he's going to want to jump ship. But for Newcastle, it's important for us in our best interest to get a huge amount of money in for him. Now, people on social media straight away are seeing the Saudi Arabia connections are trying to link the two together, going, well, Newcastle are trying to make loads of money here. There's some money laundering going on. There's all these illegal stuff they're trying to claim it's happening. Now, obviously, I'm not going to comment on that, but I definitely think there's something to this, other than the Harvey Barnes bit. I still don't think we have to sell St-Maximin to buy Harvey Barnes. I don't think that at all. But I definitely can see St-Maximin potentially leaving. I've said it all window along. There's just something off about him. He had all these little sparks at the start with all these goodbye messages, and now is these Saudi Arabia links popping up. It's something I've been claiming for a couple of weeks that I definitely think it is possible, the amount of players that went across to Saudi Arabia trying to globalise the sport. St-Maximin's a flair player, someone that I think will gain interest, and definitely something I can see happening, so keep an eye on that. But speaking of Harvey Barnes now, he is once again missing from pre-season. He was not present at all for the Northampton game at Leicester City, which I do think is interesting. Eddie Howe again stating that Harvey Barnes is not close at all. Well, I think that's potential evidence to say, oh, well, there is some other teams that are meant to be going in for Harvey Barnes as well, may I add. The likes of West Ham, for example, just saw Declan Rice for £105 million. Definitely a team that I think would be keeping an eye on a guy like Harvey Barnes. So we'll have to wait and see. But honestly, we've seen it a couple weeks ago now. I know things have sort of dimmed down a bit, but I definitely think Newcastle are still with Harvey Barnes. It's been reported on social media that he'd agree the player terms side of things. We'll wait and see for time. But honestly, though, I think for £35 million, it's definitely a player Newcastle will be looking in for, and I can't see us 100% saying him. It just depends on here with South St Maximin, and obviously, again, whether the club wants him. We've seen everything about Harvey Barnes wanting to join us, but from what we've seen on social media, Newcastle United seems to want him. But again, on social media, you've seen how these things kind of go back and forth, especially with the Barella stuff. I think a lot of people being on edge about that one, and rightfully so. So we'll have to wait and see. But Harvey Barnes was missing for the match yesterday, I think it's important to say. And finally, last but not least, we have the Napoli left winger. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, it looks impossible to pronounce. But it's been reported by Italian media that Newcastle is willing to pay €90 million to bring him to the football club. As a result, Newcastle fans on social media are getting excited. I've seen his article and they're trying to just eat it all up. Now, I have to be honest, I think it has to be the most obviously incorrect article I've ever seen. I do not see Newcastle United spending £80 million in any player in this transfer window. I don't think it's realistic at all, considering as well that likes of Harvey Barnes are deemed too expensive according to our sources on social media. It's not realistic we go get a Napoli guy for £80 million. I don't see it happening at all. Napoli have even said, if we're going to go with this article and say it's correct, Napoli have even said, yeah, that's insufficient, so you've got to pay more than £80 million to bring him in. It's not realistic at all. I don't see this one happening. I've got a feeling that this one's definitely going to be a name that's going to pop up all over social media and on YouTube channels, etc. I just don't think it's realistic. It's not going to happen at all. I'm going to come out now and try and keep people grounded. I do expect Newcastle to spend a decent amount. I think we'll bring a good few players in, despite how it may seem at the minute. But this one, I don't think it's realistic at all. I think it's just an absolute load of rubbish. I mean, of course it is. You guys should be fully aware of that one. I mean, realistically, Newcastle are not going to spend that money on any player in this window, especially when Newcastle need to get about 5-6 different areas of the pitch filled in. You're not going to spend all that on one player. We've got Tonali and so far, great signing. We had to move elsewhere and get our bits and bobs done. So hopefully today, that's going to be a bit more insight into the media stuff and also how the transfers are constantly popped up on social media. There's also some bits and bobs that I do think is interesting. Obviously, Harvey Barnes missing yesterday's game definitely is interesting. The same Maximin stuff again, I do see a bit of weight to that one. But I think it's always important to try and get everything across. Tomorrow I can get the overnight stay vlog done unless there's any major breaking news. We're not going to be mentioning transfers for at least a couple of days. But that's about it really. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, massive thanks to you guys being able to get an opportunity to actually do some media stuff at Newcastle United game. It's so cool seeing everything firsthand. But yeah, thanks a lot. Take care now, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the overnight stay vlog.